live. It is public.
It always takes a couple minutes.
Yeah, that's why I'm not rushing. But yeah,
Mm-mm.
all right. It's come up on mine.
Okay. Yep, there it is.
All right. Okay, so welcome everybody to Too Legit to Crit, a tabletop role playing podcast made for people who pump all their skill points into sarcasm.
Yeah, actually. Yeah, 100%. I have very sassy characters. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
And
today
in
I
real
just
life.
today I woke up and I needed to satisfy that need of being mean to people. So
No.
I went on like the Linkin Park Facebook group,
Oh, jeez.
and everybody who mentioned about it's not Chester, I just went, nobody cares about you or your opinion.
Oh, man. If the band likes her, that's what's important. Like,
I don't, I
mm,
don't give a shit either way. I just like
yeah,
being mean.
like,
Look, honestly, I was actually thinking about it. That I think there is an actual compulsion to need to be mean to people.
I think you need to get that checked. Like,
Honestly, I think it. And don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. When I was younger, it was a lot more indiscriminate, and I was a much worse person. But now I at least pick people who I think deserve it.
okay.
And yes, I feel so much better after doing it.
John, the original villain. Okay.
Oh, if I had superpowers, I would 100% be a supervillain.
That's fair. That's fair. I don't.
I mean, I know one house that is very white that needs.
Oh, right. Oh my god, don't even get me started with that. But no, I if I had superpowers, I don't think I think I'd lay low. I don't think I'd want to be like, hey, I'm a superhero. I think I would trench coat it. Like, no, no, you don't.
No, 100%. I'm burning this place to the fucking ground.
That
I'm
makes sense.
I'm
That checks.
gonna be Lex Luthor. I'm gonna be. Yeah, I don't even know what superpower. Whatever. Even if it was the
Um,
fucking superpower to predict the weather pattern, I would use it for evil. I would find a
That'd be
fucking
fun.
way to kind of go, oh no, it's gonna be sunny tomorrow.
That's such a weird power to to pull out of your ass. Like, if I can predict the weather.
I can. I mean, it doesn't have to be like the most
Yeah,
earth-shattering
no, I got
superpower
you.
for me to do evil with it. It'd be
That's
like,
true.
no, no, no. Tomorrow's definitely going to be sunny,
Hmm.
and just watch everybody
Yeah.
run out in their shorts into torrential rain. It'd be like, hey,
Hey, surprise.
yeah, yeah. And I think anyone who says if they the whole with great power comes great responsibility. If anyone actually lives up to that, they're full of shit.
I would be
Come on.
terrified. I would be terrified. Matter of fact, like my character right now in the game I'm playing has powers, crazy awesome powers. But like I don't describe her as that. I don't describe as like, oh, I'm playing a warlock with these set of powers. I'm like, oh, I'm playing this river mill girl that like very much so is trying to be normal. Like she's trying so bad to hide the fact she has magic, and everybody can tell. Like everybody's rolling crazy awesome on their perception, and they're like, yeah, no, we get it. You're a caster. She's like, no, I'm not. Shh. That'd be me in real life. I'd be like, oh, this crazy ultimate power. No, shh, no. You have to use it like hell I do. Like, no.
I mean, the only caster I'm playing currently is, or I say currently, I haven't picked her up in a bit, is Talira
Yeah.
from Fabula Ultima. And
Yeah.
she's not quiet about being a caster.
No, she's not quiet about anything.
No, she's not.
We love her for it. Yeah, we need to play
She
more of that.
embodies that mean side of me where it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna be a dick.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, like I think oh, I gotta be careful how I say this. Oh, no, I don't. People can be mad at me saying it anyways. I think that it's easy to be a little mean when you're playing a caster. Um, Not because like, oh, casters are mean, casters are like evil or whatever, but like you do. You've got all this power, and it's kind of like I can just wave my hand or whatever. Now, granted, I've only played one caster. Just this is my first, so but
I've played bards. I've played a lot of bards.
mm,
That was kind of my class in those
okay.
sort of games.
Yeah.
But that's it. I've never really.
Yeah, I'm a much more like hands-on person. Even my superheroes like in Mutants and Masterminds or my like my indie games I've played, like I never play something like super magical. I love magic. I love magic a lot, but I never
Hmm.
play it. It's always like really practical. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder what the psyche is behind that.
I don't know. I'm not a massive fan of like most of the magic systems,
Yeah.
or especially the most popular magic systems,
Yeah.
where it's Vancian magic,
Mm.
the whole spell slots thing. It just for
Yeah.
me,
No.
it breaks immersion
Yeah. Well,
to
and
go.
it's
Oh, I've only got 3 slots left. It's like,
well, and for me, like it's for me, it's story based. It's not even system based. Like, if I'm gonna play in a world where there's magic, I want to know why there's magic. I want to know like the best way I can explain it is Tolkien. Like there is magic in Tolkien, but it's not flashy in your face. Like, oh, I studied at School of Magic to get this. It's more of like an innate thing. Um, versus I can't even think of anything with media in it right now where it's just oh, I learned magic. I don't know.
I think that's a very interesting point, though,
Mm-hmm.
because obviously, don't get me wrong, I am
Mm-hmm.
far from being an expert in Tolkien
Mm-hmm.
lore or anything like that.
Yeah.
But from what I've gathered, from what I've seen, is that you are right that magic does exist
Yep.
to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
The people, the Gandalfs are very few and far between,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all because they're like demigods of some
Right.
description,
Yeah.
etc., etc.
Yeah.
So lo and behold, the most common fantasy trope is borrowing heavily off Tolkien. Is borrowing very
Right.
heavily off
Yeah.
that, and we see it in Dungeons and Dragons. We see it in Pathfinder. We see it in all of these fantasy RPGs, where all of a sudden it's like, okay, anybody who studies hard enough can be a wizard.
Right.
Anybody with
Yeah.
a bloodline can be a sorcerer. Anybody with a
Mm-hmm.
patron can be a warlock or a witch or blah blah blah. And it
Yeah.
becomes and I feel it does become a lot less special,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and for like gaming balance sakes, they kind of have to go, okay, so we're going to use the Vancian magic method, which I'm not a fan of. I don't
Mm-hmm.
like the idea of spell slots. I like the idea of
Yeah.
having points like they did in
Mm-hmm.
Rollmaster, like they do in Savage Worlds, like they
Mm.
do in
Love Savage
Fabula
Worlds.
Ultima,
Yeah.
where
Oh yeah.
you've got your abilities, but you spend a pool in
Mm-hmm.
order to exercise them.
I love that about Shadowrun too. For me, the magic system in Shadowrun is very it's it's resistance. Anything where it's like I'm rolling from a pool or I have points, like you said, and then there's like a resistance of how long can I cast this before I'm exhausted and depleted? Not like oh, I've used up my allotted amount. It's like how far can I go until I, as a person, household is kind of like that because I was talking to one of my players and they're like, well, what kind of powers? Like it's fairies, right? I'm like, yeah, it's fairies. And they're going, so what kind of powers? Like, well, you're a fairy. Well, isn't there magic? Well, yes, like you are magic. You are a fairy. But it's not, oh, I cast silence on you. No, it's the world in itself is magic. Like, each race has special powers. Like, oh, fairies can fly. Boggarts can turn twice their size. Things like that. But yeah.
I mean, I do like the Savage Worlds, because obviously I'm delving deep into
Yeah.
it. I'm liking the powers system,
Mm-hmm.
where instead of having like acid splash and firebolt and
Right.
ice thing, you've got a bolt power,
Mm-hmm.
and however that manifests is how you choose it to be. You can kind of go, right, I want it
Yeah.
to be fire, and I like that. I do like that for A, simplicity's sake,
Yeah.
and B, for just being effective and
Mm-hmm.
being sort of, why have 3 different spells that do
Mm.
mechanically the same thing,
Yeah.
barring one difference?
I've actually, when I started making my, like I said, my current caster, we've talked about this. I try really hard to build my characters off story, off of the character themselves, not down the road. What talent and power can I take? I don't do that. So there's a couple of spells that she has or abilities that it's like, oh, pick a type of damage, and every single time Connell, our GM, asks like, oh, what kind of damage was that? I'm like, she does not know. I'm not going to pick that. Like, we can
Hmm.
either roll a dice for it as a GM for story reasons, you can do it. But I'm
Yeah.
like it's not important to me. And it's so funny because one of the players at our table is very much so detail oriented, and I can just hear him internally screaming whenever I do that. He's like, "Well, why?" I'm like, "For the story."
No, No, but I don't see anything wrong with that.
Yeah, no,
I
I love
think
it. It's
that's a
good.
perfectly valid way of doing it. Even if you kind of start out on the first time she's casting this
Yeah.
spell, okay, roll to see what damage it does.
Yeah.
As she gets better and more
Exactly.
practice, then she can kind of go, right, instead of doing a D6,
Yep.
do it in a D3. So it's going to be one of 3.
What is it? There's a 5e like spell mechanic, hex, right? Where you cast a hex on something and it's cursed basically, and she has that, and it's always, oh, pick the attribute that you don't want that person to be able to succeed in, blah 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 blah. And every time it's like, well, what attribute? I'm like, I do not want to do that. I do not want to play that as that role. So I've gotten to the point where I just I'll roll and pick a random, whatever attribute that number lands on. Cause I'm like, I don't want to just be like, oh, strength. Cause I know this monster going up. I'm not going to do that.
But can't you do that in narrative? Can't you kind of go, okay, I'm looking at this creature now and it's got long spindly legs. So I'm going to assume it's quite dexterous.
Absolutely.
So that's what I'm going to target.
If it makes sense. Yes. If it makes sense narratively, I'm looking at that and it's like, oh, there's this big brutish thing. I'm going to like smash out strength,
I'm going to go
obviously.
I'm going to go for dex.
Right. But I mean, if it's like, the last combat we had, basically like there were, will-o-wisps is the concept that we were fighting against. She doesn't know what that is. She has no fucking clue what their weaknesses is. So I was like, nah. Like, if I don't have a clue, she doesn't have a clue. But yeah, it's good. I very much so like playing magic as a natural thing that is inherited or built into your character, not necessarily you study really hard and go to Hogwarts. Fuck Hogwarts. Sorry. I love the story, but that author has burned that bridge for me. So,
Fight the power.
Yeah, no, but
yeah, I honestly couldn't give a like. It's because I'm not really that into playing casters. I like to play caster adjacent.
Oh yeah.
So I like to play something that can use magical abilities, but is more on the other side of things. Like I said, my favorite class is a bard.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until Pathfinder 2nd that the bards were classed as full casters. They were partial casters.
I have always, even in Fabula, like, and I didn't realize that I did this, but I always lean towards the powerhouse character, like the muscle, the smash and bash. Like I don't know why. Like, it's my comfort zone. Like it's kind of like, oh, starting a new system, whatever hits hard. Like,
but I think that is it is a comfort zone.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You know, you're playing into something that you're used to. You're playing something that kind of fits with your personality.
Yeah.
My comfort zone is
mouth.
People who are assholes.
Yeah. I wasn't saying asshole, just mouth.
even like Edgar, who's effectively a Fabula Ultima equivalent of a paladin. He's an asshole. He is very much, I'm here to do a job. And if I can antagonize you, I'm going to do that. Much to Couch's frustration.
I feel like most paladins I know are assholes. Like,
yeah, probably.
Even the good ones.
Oh, Edgar's not good. Edgar's neutral at best.
Neutral's not bad though.
Neutral is effective.
Yeah. Yeah.
Neutral. Like I say, I don't like the alignment system, but it gives you a good sort of inkling to a character. So most of my characters are along the neutral axis. There are some things that they kind of hold up. I know what you're gonna say. Say it. Even
no. Even when I try, I try to do no. I'm being nice today. Even when I try to be like, oh, I played this type of character, I'm gonna flip to the other side and play something else. I'm always on the line of good, even when I try to be bad. It's like,
but to answer the question that you did not ask, even Liberator is along the neutral axis.
Liberator's in for himself. Well, I guess that is kind of neutral.
That's the way you perceive it, but that is not the conversation that I had with Connell, and it is not the character, as it were.
No, I'm sure, but the character
is very much along the neutral axis.
with the highest innocent kill count.
Potentially, if you wanted to give him an alignment, neutral evil.
We
Potentially, I'd give you
have
that.
to finish that game.
We have to.
We
We
have
have
to
to because
finish
I've
that
got
game.
ideas. I've got ideas as to what Liberator would do next.
Oh my god, like we have to finish that game.
Mm.
I desperately miss those characters.
Yeah,
But
me
even
too.
if we don't record it, we have to finish the game. Like
I think we'll record it
yeah.
because then we've got a season that we can put
Yep.
out
Yep.
and then decide what we're doing after that because
Yeah.
I don't think the AP thing necessarily works for us.
Yeah. Well,
I don't
I
think it
never really
works
went
for
I never really wanted to do APs. I just want to play games.
I mean, for me it was more, we started the
Mhm.
podcast.
Yeah.
And it was a case of it seemed like a natural progression to kind of branch out and everybody's doing AP, so let's do APs, let's put our own
Mhm.
spin on it. And don't get me wrong, I've enjoyed every single thing we've done,
Oh yeah.
but at the same time I don't think it's got the same return of investment.
Yeah.
I
No.
think the market's quite saturated,
Oh yeah.
and I don't think we necessarily stand out enough
No.
to basically to get our
I
work
told
out there.
you get that bedazzled Spider-Man suit and it's a different story.
Yeah, but you're wearing the bedazzled Spider-Man suit.
Yeah. Yeah,
You're
but
in
you're
the pink
getting
one.
it.
You've been getting it for a fucking year.
That's fair. That's fair. So what have you been doing in gaming this week? Like what was your gaming week?
Gaming week
No.
was Monday. We played Parasand with GM Mistress Winter at the helm.
Pair
And
of sand or parasand?
Parasand. That is
Okay.
the name of the world that she is running in.
Got it. Okay.
It
Got it.
is a Pathfinder 2nd Edition game. With Misfit Playland,
Mhm.
great
Yep.
friend of the show, my good friend Chris, and myself. And it was a good session. It was
Good.
more of a investigative sort of licking our wounds sort of session, but it was good. And that's what we're going to play the moment we stop recording.
That's awesome.
We're going straight back into that.
That's great.
Then on Wednesday we got back to Delta Green,
All right.
which was even more fun.
You said last time they like basically were stuck in that place. What happened? Like, did they figure it out or they?
They haven't figured it out, but they have
Okay.
now found a potential way out.
Oh.
They they found a potential way out, which we will investigate in the next session. But this session was a lot of going and talking to other people in this place to kind of figure out where they are, what it's all about. And there was a lot of information. Now, whether that information got picked up, because there was a lot of NPC interaction. There was, whether it was NPCs kind of playing in the space with them overhearing things, or whether it was direct interaction. And whether that information got picked up or not, that is entirely on them. One of the players, he kind of forgot we were playing Delta Green a tiny bit and decided to antagonize someone he shouldn't have antagonized.
In game or in real life? Or both?
In game. I think there was I think there was an in real life component to it of trying to be, I won't say trying to be funny because that sounds dismissive, but trying to be ever so slightly tongue in cheek at the table.
Okay.
But in a game where consequences are dire, those consequences manifest. And it kind of did. But everything was all right. He kind of went, I kind of forgot for a second what the stakes were, sort of thing. And it wasn't massively punishing, but it was a case of, it was more of a gentle reminder of, in this system, you fuck around, you will find out. Sort of thing.
I love that. That's great. The chat's actually talking about Delta Green right now. They're like, we want to play Delta Green. I'm like, yeah, me too. And Sam goes, every time John talks about it, it sounds so much fun. I don't know if I can handle the stress, which is why I want her to play it.
Well, stay tuned to John's Junk because I may have some updates about that.
Oh, good. We need to fucking play. I'm excited. I want to play.
Yep.
I've been playing a lot more games, and that makes me happy. But
So what
yeah.
have you been playing? What have you been doing this week?
Well, this week is our normal gaming. However, I talked about it. I don't know what's going on with my hair. I'm just growing my pixie out, and now it just goes in every direction. So y'all just need to deal with it. If I have a horn, I have a horn. Uh,
And if I have the horn, I've got the horn. It just happens.
exactly. There we go, teammates.
I'm at an age now where they can't go to waste.
um, you got to take advantage, right? Like,
Okay,
don't
so
let them
horn
pass
is
you.
going to be in the title of this week's
Oh
episode
yeah,
somehow.
yeah. Don't waste your horn. What was I saying?
Nice. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Yes.
But last week we talked about how we had a player have I am gonna be nice on this one. I have to pick my words though. We had a player choose to bow out a game, and that player was in 2 of our games and also GM'd a 3rd game. And so we had to kind of punt real quick and figure out how the fuck we're gonna adjust this. And my entire gaming week has been kind of dealing with the repercussions of that. But we had a guest show up in the game, which I can't talk about right now because I don't know if I have their permission to talk about it yet. So I'm just not gonna name names. But we had a guest person that we know, like on the interwebs, come in and stream in and play, and it was a lot of fun. And our home table actually really, really enjoyed them. And they decided and kind of were asked if they could be a more permanent fixture in the game. So, like, literally in the same span of like, oh fuck, what are we gonna do? This person just kind of showed up and it fit perfectly, and it was this really cool dynamic of like, oh, that's what we're gonna do. So it was really cool. And now the thing is, they're gonna be playing in Connell's game, and which is wonderful. We're super excited to have them, and the dynamic is going to change in the group, but in a good way. Like, it's going to be okay. But then, then Connell's like, so you're going to play an Atlas's game too, right? And before I could even be like, no, it's fine, they're like, yeah. I'm like, god damn it. Because I'm a baby GM, right? Like, it took me 3 or 4 years to get comfortable with our current table before I was willing to GM for them. So now I'm like, oh, okay, like I can put my big girl panties on. I can do this.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine. But it's really, really gonna be fine, because here's the thing: I've been stressing about how to change my storyline, because I told you my story for my campaign is very Tolkien-esque in its bigness, right? Like, the characters in the story are super important to the main plot line. So I'm sitting here going, how the hell am I gonna do this? How the hell am I gonna do this? And I didn't give any direction. This person had access to the setting. They like read up on the setting of my world and was like, hey, I want to play this type of character. And literally, in spitballing this character at me, they came up with not only a good character that fit the group, but also a story background that fit with the group. And it allowed me to tie them in and get rid of the old character all in one swoop. And I was like, holy shit. Like, thank you for doing all my work for me. It was fantastic. So that's what I'm doing this week, because I'm looking forward to kind of figuring that out. So that's
good. You know, good. I'm glad you've got a replacement. And yeah, it sucks when a player kind of bows out.
Yeah.
Which I had an element of that.
Mhm.
What wasn't this week, it was last week. Whereas we're
Mhm.
still kind of in talks about the Kingmaker game.
Okay, yeah.
And I've kind of turned around and kind of gone, yeah, I'm gonna carry it on. We'll carry on playing, but
Right.
said I don't want maps, I don't want minis, I don't want fuck all. I want to do theater of the
Right.
mind.
Yeah. I love
Even
theater
if
of the
even if it's Pathfinder, which is very reliant on maps and positioning. It's like, don't worry, we'll find a way around it.
Yeah.
You know.
That's the only way
And
I've ever played
I've
Pathfinder.
already kind of figured all that out. I don't need anything.
Yeah.
One of the players was like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to bow out,"
Okay.
and I don't think they expected me to go, "Okay."
That's good. I love
So
that for
they
you, though,
so
genuinely.
they have now decided they're not going to bow out. But yeah, so I just turned around and went, "Yeah, you know, best of luck to you. If you ever want to come back, let me know."
Yeah.
But we're going to carry on
Yeah,
regardless.
absolutely. I love that for you. Genuinely. Like, I think that it's healthy for GMs to play games that they want to play. And
Yeah.
if players don't want to play that, that's fine. That's on them. Like, that's okay. They don't have to like it. They can find something else to play. Um, but yeah, it's hard. It's hard when players bow out, because like, if it was just like oh, we're playing this one shot. Oh, well, we got five games with strangers we don't know. It's one thing, but when it's friends that you've known a long time, and it's like, oh, like bummer.
But
But
it happens. It's
it does, yeah, yeah,
as long as there's no bad blood, and you don't take it personally. But
yeah,
which I don't know the situation.
yeah.
It may have turned around and gone, oh, you're all a bunch of this, and stormed out. I don't know. But I think the important thing is that if as long as it's amicable,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with kind of going, yeah, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I can't do this
exactly.
anymore.
Like it's okay. It is okay. Like I am a person where people can come at me and they can be rude and they can be offensive, and I'm just like, okay, kind of like you said, like, all right, bye, like it's fine. I get angry for other people when I shouldn't. Like it's not my place, but that's just like my default like trigger, like whatever. So when the player bowed out, I got angry because it's like, dude, like you can't do that to the other players and Connell and all this thing. But I'm like, okay, but if the GM's okay with it, if the other players are okay with it, let it go.
Yeah, and it's also a circumstantial thing,
Yeah.
why they're bowing out.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't
That's
expect you to say here, but
no.
there's
I
always going to be a reason. I mean,
yeah.
even if that reason is I don't feel like I'm comfortable with the table anymore, I don't feel
Yeah.
we gel or anything like that, that is still
Exactly.
a valid reason.
That's an important reason. Like
You know.
if you don't feel comfortable with your table, holy shit, like that's a conversation that needs to be had completely. So
Yeah,
absolutely.
but again, it doesn't necessarily have to be antagonistic. It doesn't
No.
have to be
Mm-mm.
taken personally.
Nope.
This is a social contract. I know that my
Mhm.
GM style isn't for everybody. I know that my
Yeah.
personality isn't for everybody. I don't take
Same.
it personally.
Yeah.
If someone kind of goes, "Yeah, I don't want to I don't want to be in a game with John because I don't like him." That is fine. Again, I don't
Yeah.
take that. I don't take it
Yeah.
personally.
No.
It saves me time.
Yeah.
The way I look at it,
Yep.
it saves me time in the sense of, okay, so I know that this relationship is
Mhm.
not one that's ever going to become more than acquaintance.
And that's why I get so nervous GMing for strangers, because like I know that my style of GMing is different from a lot of people's, and that's okay. But for example, like I have had, if we count the player that just left, I had 3 old school gamers. Like, oh, I've been playing since blah 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 blah, right? That know
Hmm.
all the rules inside and out, backwards and sideways. And there are so many times when they're like, "Oh, well, doesn't it say this and this can't happen?" I'm like, "Yeah, but I said it can, so deal with it." Like it fits the moment. Your character is able to do so. I'm not going to get caught up in it. Like if it is narratively accurate, I'm going to wave my hand and be like, "Yeah, no, it's cool. It's fine." Like
I mean,
to a point, but like it's what I was saying, it's like earlier, like, oh well, it's this kind of damage. I'm like, just for, this isn't what happened, but just for an example, I had a character who's like, oh well, it's only supposed to be necrotic damage. I'm like, we're just gonna take the damage. Like it doesn't have to be necrotic. Like if it's not important to what's going on, we're just gonna say it took the damage. Like
I mean, you're always going to have that element of
mhm.
people who know, especially in a system in
Yep,
which
that's super popular. Yeah.
the rules kind of take precedence. You're always going to
Yeah.
have that.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
but the book says that, and there's
Yep.
nothing necessarily wrong with that because you opt to play a game
Yeah.
which is set out in that style,
Yep.
where it's less GM discretion and more what the
Yeah.
rule book says.
And
But
that's
at the
why I
same
warn people,
time,
because like I said, I don't GM a traditional GM style that it usually goes with that game. So I warn people.
again,
I'm like,
yeah,
hey.
at the same time, you need to know that at a table, the person who's in charge and the person who says final say isn't
Uh-huh.
the book,
Nope.
it's the GM.
It's the GM.
And
Mm-hmm.
I've I've sat down at Pathfinder tables that have been run by people without the same experience as
Mm-hmm.
I've had, who
Yep.
haven't pored over the rules like I have. And don't get me wrong, I say it
Mm-hmm.
like I'm a massive expert. I still forget things, but
Yeah.
I like there are certain rules where they'll make the wrong call,
Yeah.
but I shut the fuck up because it's not my place.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's not my place. If they want to turn to me and say, "Am I doing that right?" I will then offer my advice.
Yeah.
But unless I'm asked, it's not my fucking play. It's not my fucking problem.
Yep.
I will play. If they want to ask for X skill instead of Y skill,
Mm-hmm.
despite the book saying it is indeed Y skill,
Yeah.
okay, X skill it is. There's your fucking dice roll. And let's see what happens from there.
Yeah. I just want to play the game. Like, let's play the game. Let's have fun. You know, like you said, it's a social contract. Like, you're coming together to play a game of pretend with a bunch of other people.
Yeah.
When you really get down to it. So it's how do you want to play pretend today? So
yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
You know, do you want to play and do you want to play pretend where it's very strict and regulated and all? That's fine. Go for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But know your fucking place.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see how this game turns out. I'm not wanting to rush it, my campaign. Like, I'm wanting to finish it properly and let everybody have their due chance to, finish the storyline. But man, am I jonesing to start my next story. Because it's the household one. And
yeah, that's the problem when you settle on what you're doing next.
Yeah.
It starts to creep in, and I've got to constantly remind myself, no, impossible landscapes.
Yep.
And then we'll do Savage Worlds.
I've put both my Bluebeard's Bride and my household book are like on a shelf downstairs under a pack of things, so I can't get to them easily for that reason. Because I'll start diving in. I'm like, stop. I'm not even like yeah. We need pants. Sorry, I was like, we need to get
I've got
with
pants.
the logo.
Thank you very much.
No. I rarely wear mine. I am wearing them today.
I've got pants.
We should get hammer
I'm
pants.
a big boy, damn it, and I've got big boy
the
pants.
harem style. Put the logo on it. You know.
So you want me to make Too Legit to Crit branded parachute pants?
Yes, and I will wear them hands down.
All right,
He's looking it up now. He's like, "Where's the merch list? Do we have that?"
Let me just have a look on Foursquare. Is it for no Foursquare? What was it? Fuck, I forgot what it's called.
Chat did just ask an interesting question. Sam in chat, for anyone listening. At what point do you start planning the next game, even if you're currently in one?
About halfway through. That's my answer, because that's what I'm doing now.
I don't. Oh man.
I'm doing that now because I'm halfway through Impossible Landscapes, and when I say plan, I don't mean prep.
Yeah.
Because I'm planning it in the I've got it in the headspace. I've got it in my mind of what I want to do, where I want to go with it. Yes. I haven't actually started writing things down yet because my prep is focusing on
the current game.
Impossible Landscapes.
Yep. I would agree with that, Sam. I think for me, halfway through, like when I feel like my players are halfway through the story arc, I start brainstorming. Like, I will be like, okay, what do I want to run next? What kind of story? What kind of vibe? And then I that's where I end. Like John said, I don't write anything down. I don't create character stats, NPCs, nothing. It's just I now know I'm running Household / Bluebeard's Bride as my next game. End of story. I have some concepts of like characters and connections, but I'm not going to get too far into it. And because right now in my current game, my players could go left and it could be another year before they finish, or they could go right and end it in 2 weeks. Like, I really don't know. It's kind of up to them. But yeah, I'd say halfway I come up with an idea, and then when it gets to that point where I can actually in my brain be like, okay, this game will end in maybe 2-3 sessions, I buckle down and it's like, all right, let's just get everything finished and ready to go. So
we don't have parachute pants.
We don't have parachute pants.
We do have like joggers in general.
I mean, I like sweatpants.
So where do you want the logo? Do you want it on the arse?
Yeah.
All right, so I've got some all over print leggings.
See if you can put like the dice or something on the front or down the side, and then on the ass to just be like too legit.
two dice, just on each of the ass cheeks.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I wonder if that's a doable thing.
I don't know if that's doable. That's pretty specific.
All over print leggings with pockets. Let's try them. Holy shit, they're expensive.
Yeah, all over print is expensive.
They're expensive. That's like Even before we add hours on, it's like $34.
Back to the planning game. Connell says the moment he gets a new idea or product that eats up my RAM, I could have just started or be deep into a successful game. Great at ideas, horrible at follow through. I get a couple ideas. I think I've had 4 or 5 different game ideas before.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'll just go this way.
Yeah, I mean, I've always got game ideas. That's the problem. But I do a lot of those game ideas. I just kind of, I won't say I ignore, but I definitely back burner them.
Shelf them.
Yeah, and until they become more sort of relevant.
I want to be more comfortable in just getting a game and going. Like that is my goal for 2025 is to have done more like pickup games that I GM. I'm fine in being in them. Obviously, who doesn't love playing and get up games? But I think on our Saturday hangout stream over at Atlas Adventures, like we've been starting to do closed door games where people are like, "Hey, I want to run a game in April," and I'm like, "Okay, here's some open dates." They pick one, we play a game. Whoever shows up plays. Whoever doesn't, like, talk to me, and then I get them in on the next game. Like that way, it's never like, "Oh, sorry, the game's closed, you can't play in it." It's literally like, "Hey, if you were interested, just reach out to me. We'll get you in." But I want to start doing some of those myself. Like I want to just sit down and surprise people, like, all right, we're playing a game. Here we go. Which I'm scared shitless to do. I'm so scared. And they're all my friends. Like everybody in my Discord, I love them dearly. I shouldn't be scared, but there I am being like, no. But yeah.
Okay, that's going to take me a bit longer than I expected.
You still trying to get dice on the ass?
Yeah, I am trying to get dice on the ass.
Don't waste your horn getting dice on the ass.
I don't know. I think that might be a bit too.
That might be a bit too
YouTube.
much for YouTube.
YouTube would be like, "Oh no, my delicate ears. Think of the children.
Think of the children.
Think of the children and the ass dice."
The ass dice. Oh, hang on a minute.
What are you thinking of? Like D20s that are asses?
You know how people I used to make artisan handmade dice. Just PS. I don't know if anyone knew that about me. I used to. Too much time and money. I can't keep up with the hobby. But I love doing it. But one of the biggest trends lately is people are casting dice with fabric or patterns or hand painted designs on them, and then they recast them in resin on top of that, so that there's, it's really gorgeous. The numbers are on top, anyways. And I was just sitting there going like, oh, you could get like little anime like booties, like on each side of like a certain dice, and then cast over a booty dice.
Yeah, I mean, if that hasn't already been done, I'll be very surprised.
Someone has to have done it.
Someone's got to have made a cock and balls on a D20.
I'll tell you what, I've never dropped a lot of money on dice, but I'm a bit of an arcane. I love arcane. Like to a point, it's a problem. And someone made a mutated hex die. And dear God, it was so pretty, but I'm like, I don't have money to drop a couple hundred on a dice. Apparently Bella does. I don't know if y'all can hear her barking.
Yeah, fair enough.
But it was so pretty. It's so pretty. I love dice.
Okay, so stained glass penis D20.
What? Stained glass?
Oh, these are gorgeous.
I want to get a pair of stained glass nails, but stained glass D20?
These are awesome.
Those are amazing.
Those are fantastic. They're $100. That's $100 just for that dice.
Just for the D20.
Yeah.
It's not a set.
Nope. That's not the set. That's just and you
but
can.
It's pretty. That's
okay,
really
what's flawed giving me? Still $100 fucking for flawed.
Oh, but the foil's coming out. I don't know how I feel about that. Wow.
Stained glass penis D20.
Wow. You need those. Like that is your.
I don't
D20,
need those
John.
dice.
That I can see like almost all of your characters. Like
I don't need those dice. I don't need those dice. Now, if we're talking about a pair of tits,
I mean, that's
because I am a child.
If I had a pair of dice like that, I'd be constantly be saying, "Oh, tits up."
That's it. If natural one is the tits, so if something goes tits up,
tits up.
certainly onto something. Let's have a look. Boob D20.
Oh God.
You've sent me down a rabbit hole now.
I have our poor show.
Come on, we didn't, we didn't have standards before.
Listen, this show is built on our love of the game, and that includes tit dice. Okay.
I've not found them, but I've found like weird date night dice.
Date. Oh yeah.
There's like positions on there.
Yeah, I've seen those. I almost got a pair of those as a gag gift one time.
Yeah, so boob dice. Yeah, I mean, my search history is going to be fucked anyway, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, my search history is shit, so I might as well lean into it. The amount of weird shit I look up.
Yeah.
If anybody's monitoring my computer, it's like, are we going to arrest him yet? Like, no. He's going to do something worse at some point.
It's going to be fine. I talked to my FBI agent at night. It's fine. Google. Hey,
like, at some point, some terrorist shit is going to come up.
Oh,
the Trump administration. He's going to say something.
We were playing Mutants and Masterminds a week or two ago in my Discord server, and Craig Tezrak, we my character is a super genius, and she had alerted everyone's phones to like, hey, evacuate the area. But Craig plays a big rocky crystal, like the Thing type character, right? And he was joking about how he was going to call the cops to let them know about the situation. He's like, oh, but my fingers, like, how am I going to do this? I'm like, oh, you could just ask your phone, right? Like, hey, I'm going to be very careful. I have to be careful. But like, hey, call the, and he's like, oh yeah, I could just say, and he said it. And I'm like, no. And sure as shit, he accidentally called the authorities in real life, and they called him back, and he had to like, oh God. And he's on his phone, and it's mass chaos. I don't know. We haven't been able to clarify with him yet, but maybe 10 15 minutes later, like we're all hanging out in game, and he's frustrated as hell in the first place, just things that are going on, and he goes, oh shit, gets up, bolts out the door because someone's at the front door. I don't know if it was the cops or not. I have no idea. I'm just like so be careful.
I'm certainly enjoying saying stuff in the Traveler's Chalice and watching him react to him.
Poor Craig.
I didn't start that on purpose, but it's been twice now where I've said something.
Yeah.
And he's reacted. It's just like, it's a thing now.
Mm-hmm.
It's a thing. He's shown a weakness. That's something you can't do around me.
I don't have weakness. Atlas is I'm a Titan. I have no thingies. I can't have words apparently.
No, English is your weakness.
Fuck English, man. Like
the English
I said that at
language.
work the other day. I said that at work, and I was on the phone with one of my coworkers, and I was trying to talk to them, and I said the word werbage, like verbiage, but werbage. And he starts dying laughing. Like, I'm sorry, my English isn't working well today. And he stops laughing, dead serious. Immediately stops. And he goes, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to laugh at you. I'm like, no, it's fine. It's funny. He's like, no, really. Like people that, what's your first language? And I'm like, he thought when I said my English was broken that like I was a native speaker or something else. And I'm like, no, it's English. Like I said. And the most awkward silent pause. I was like, I'm gonna go now. And yet somehow I GM. Like
I mean, you could have leaned into it and just made up a language.
I should have. I should be like, oh, I speak, West German.
I speak Felician.
Felician.
It's like, where's Felician from? You never know.
You never know. Ask Felicia.
You don't know it. Just kind of, no, you don't know where it is. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's a small country.
Oh, man.
It's the country of Felicia.
Felician about.
Well, that's the sort of shit that I'd make people believe just because it's fun.
Yeah. Speaking about making people believe things because it's fun, not to segue into your question of the week, but I'm very interested if we got any answers.
We didn't get a massive amount of answers. We only got the 2.
Tell me about yours.
I didn't. This is one that I kind of did on purpose, but I didn't expect it to land the way it did.
Okay.
I purposely put out a red herring, but I thought
Oh.
it would get dismissed, and it didn't.
Oh
I didn't
no.
change anything. I just let them carry on, and we did a bit of a and it wasn't even mine. I was running Ex Oblivione. It
I have no
is
idea
a
what that
Delta
is.
Green scenario,
Oh, okay. I've
which
never
is
heard of that game.
very much centered around an aquatic cult.
Oh, I'm all over that. Throw me in
So
some water, man. I'm a
they're
fish.
in Arizona. They're in like the desert of Arizona, where it's hot and arid and all this crap. And when I listened to a podcast that did the same scenario, they added
Mhm.
an element into it, which was the existence of fish farms in Arizona. Right. So you know what a fish
Okay.
farm is, right?
Yeah. I'm with you.
And I thought that's quite a good thing, because it kind of fleshes out the town they were in.
Hmm.
And so what I did is, at one point, the agents went to a Chinese restaurant, and they had dinner and blah blah blah, and someone ordered some seafood,
Okay. Oh
and I just
no.
went, you just notice that the seafood is really good. It's like more than you would expect it to be in Arizona.
Suspicious seafood.
Like in Arizona, you're out in the
Yeah.
desert, you're out in the middle of
Yeah.
nowhere. And then they'd already kind of seen the iconography for this
Oh.
this aquatic cult. And all of a sudden it's like, what okay, what's going on with the fish? What's going on with this? And they started investigating. So I had to come up with like 4 or 5 fucking
That's
fake
a horrifying.
fish farms for them to investigate. And I did the whole work. I created workers. I created a backstory where they came from, and their sort of clientele that they cater to. And it was Couch. Couch was the one. It was like, fucking fish farms. It's got to be the fish farms. And they were just going down this rabbit hole of fish farms, which had fuck all to do with the actual investigation. And
What's
it
wrong
was
with the fish?
it's like and I don't know
What ended up being
why.
wrong with
I don't
what ended up being wrong with the fish? Like what?
Nothing. The
How
fish
did
was
that
fine.
resolve? So they
The
just
only
investigated and got
I
nothing out
just
of
made
it.
a point of I just pointed out, and I think there is a metagame
Oh
element to
man.
it where they've gone, why have you been very specific
Right.
about the fish?
Yeah.
And I was like, it just tastes really good. Normally, you'd expect somewhere like Arizona to have frozen fish, which isn't quite as nice. This is fresh. And they were like, how is the fish so fresh? So then I had to go into, well, there's fish farms. These are places which exist to create fish to be consumed. But that was it. It's like, no, fish farms are definitely behind this.
That might be the damn funniest thing I've
It
ever
was
heard you
it
say.
was it was good. It was good because I didn't expect them to, like, Couch in particular, to
That's
kind of
good.
latch onto it the way he did. And it was like, fish farms.
That's great. That's fantastic. Oh man.
And they weren't
Oh.
even what amuses me most is they weren't even in the book. There is
Oh
no
man.
mention in the operation of these fish farms. It
Yeah,
was
no.
literally because I'd
Yeah.
heard a
Yeah.
podcast that did it and went, that's not a bad idea.
Fish farms.
So yeah.
That's good. I'm gonna have to feature fish farms in like every game that I run
Oh,
now.
100%.
Like
So what about yours? What's yours? And then I'll go on to
I don't think
the
I've
viewers.
ever purposely ran a red herring. Connell does it to us all the fucking time, but I don't try to mislead them. They do it on their own, like all the fucking time, all
That's
the time.
that's kind of the point of the question. As
right. Like
just a throwaway detail that they've gone, ooh,
yeah, like. But then on the other hand, like I have dropped such important hints that they just like, oh, okay. I'm like, I can't. I have to be vague because we're in the story right now. And I know 1.5 people playing the game listen. 2 soon, I think. But anyways, I don't. There is a detail in game where on the spot I had a character literally message me. The player messaged me and he's like, "Hey, I really want to do this." I'm like, "Okay, go for it." And they said something, and it's just a moment for themselves, a character made moment that I'm like, "Yeah, that's great. They did it." And then the whole party was like, "Oh, that means something," and I'm like, "Oh no." And what's the thing is that I don't even think the player realized it. Like the player is the one who threw the idea out there, and I'm like, they started like I guess buying their own thing because then it was like, oh, that does mean something. I'm going, are they prodding along the party on purpose, or do they genuinely think that I took that and ran with it because I didn't? And I'm going, okay, yeah, that's a thing.
The the other one I did was the QFL. That this was a glorious one.
Oh yeah.
This wasn't a red herring. This was a
Hmm.
genuine throwaway concept that I
Yeah.
thought was funny at the fucking time. And the players, two of the players specifically, Chris and Adam, went, "We fucking love this." So they went this was in my Pathfinder homebrew. They ended up in a place called Quantium, which is in the continent of Garund in Galarian, and it is known for magic. It is known to be
Okay.
the most magical city. Now,
Mhm.
there's not really much, or there wasn't at that point very much written in official lore about Quantum, so I had to kind of wing it.
Okay.
I had to get basic concepts that had been mentioned and then expand on them. And the whole thing was I did kind of a West Wing thing with the leadership
Okay.
of that city, but I threw in something because I wanted a, for story purposes, I wanted a fighting league,
Okay. Yeah. Hmm.
right? And in
Yep.
what initially started out as like a gladiatorial league,
I love that. Yeah.
I then changed that. I just kind of went, you know what? This, for me, it's going to be more fun if it's, instead of being like a savage sort of gladiatorial thing, what if it was like a fantasy version of the WWE?
Oh yeah.
What if
This
it
the
was?
magic caster.
And
Yeah.
I kind of went down my own rabbit hole with it by kind of going, okay, so obviously this is going to be open to everybody. So I
Yeah.
actually came up with a way of like,
Love that.
I don't say came up like it was any science experiment. It was basically I designed, or I narrated a way in which they could transmit what was happening in the QFL arena to all the homes in the city. And it was using a like scrying balls, which would essentially be
Love
TV.
it.
So they
Yep.
had effectively a fantasy version of TV. And I gave other shows, I put other shows on that. So I did this QFL thing. So I went up and, you were in this tavern with an inn and all that. You go up to your rooms, and in each room there is this ball which gives you instructions on how to use it. And this ball magically shows you pictures from things that are happening not there, they're happening elsewhere. One of them seems to be a story, the other
Mm.
one seems to be just somebody reporting on the news. But you find this QFL, and it was basically you just see people battering the living shit out of each other.
That's
And
fantastic.
two of the players fucking loved the idea. And their characters, which were the more martially inclined characters,
Yeah.
loved the idea as well. That I actually had to do a session where they went to the show.
Yeah.
And I had to do
Yep.
like, it was almost a page of, okay, so this happened. And I'm pulling from my like watching WWE from years back,
Right.
kind of just replicating that.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was fucking phenomenal. But yeah, that was
That's
just meant
great.
to be a gag that I found funny, and
I love
I
that.
had to embellish.
I think twice now I've had the opposite happen where I've made very blatant like red flag signal, hey, this is important, and they're like, oh, okay, it's on the side.
Just yeah, we'll walk past this.
Like I can say this one because Connell's the only one in game right now in stream that knows about it already. I have a character. Okay, my world is post-apocalyptic magic. Magic is not super flashy. The world is dying, and the players come across a town where the inn is so goddamn magical. The bartender can control it. Like the
Hmm,
bartender can shift the rooms. He controls when you put the key in the door. There's only one door, and when you put that key in the door, it opens up to your room. Like it's
nice.
heavy magic, right? Everybody thinks it's normal except Connell. Connell caught on to it, and he's like, "What the fuck is up with this bartender?" I'm like, "What bartender? I don't know what you're talking about." But this bartender is a super important key element, and everybody's just like, "Oh yeah, that one guy." Like, "Oh, what was his name?"
So let's go to what the submissions were, because I've just looked at how long we've been talking for.
That's a good show, man.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Plays.
We just haven't shut the fuck up. All right. So where did I actually put it? I'm sure I fucking put it, but I'll read it off my phone.
Okay.
Because I thought I'd added everything onto Trello, but apparently fucking not.
Trello wiped my thing twice.
Yeah, Trello's been acting a bit funny. I think it's heard that I'm going on to Notion for certain things, and it's got all pissy about it. Trello, I still love you. I'm still going to use you. All right. So Restless Barbarian Gaming says, in our first Dungeon World session, a random name for the god of sex became a major plot point over the campaign. So I followed up with, I really need to know the name of that god. Apparently it was Kinkelferter. How the fuck do you not hear Kinkelferter and go, I need to know more about this?
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
You hear that and you're just like, how are you going to leave that out there and expect me not to go, Kinkelferter?
God of sex, like.
Yeah, the god of sex, Kinkle. I want to know about Kinkelferter and what kinks Kinkelferter kinks. I was impressed with myself on that one. All right, so
I'm so baffled by that. I'm literally just staring off at like my blank white wall, being like,
what? All right, so while you're staring off into space, Connell says the example that immediately pops into my head was a game I played in. We were just getting into an ancient city, and an NPC mentioned a location called the Ollum, or the Ollum, sorry, totally in passing. The rest of the fucking campaign, one of the players was, "What's the Ollum? Can we go to the Ollum? We don't know what they do at the Ollum. Can we see the Ollum from where we are?" 10 years later, long after the campaign, you mention it and he'll go, "Yeah, what was the Ollum? Was it a..." I like that. I do like that, sticking with that player.
That is, yeah, that's good. That's a good one. Yeah. Yeah, like red herrings, I love them, but man, they give me trust issues. It's like,
okay. All right, so I haven't quite thought of what next week's question is going to be, because it definitely seems to be that when we do one that's a bit more edgy, people seem to respond more. So I don't know whether to feed into that or just carry on with the lighthearted stuff. I like the lighthearted stuff.
I have a couple I'll throw out there too.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. You post the question of the week this week.
Yeah, I'll come up with
Go on. You post it and we'll go off your answers next week.
Yeah.
All right, so you heard that, everybody. Atlas question of the week.
Yep.
Atlas Keep Thursday. An eye on Atlas's threads and I will repost the fuck out of it.
Yes.
All right. So we're gonna move on to John's junk very quickly. Because it's feeling lonely. So normally,
don't waste your horn.
So normally, I'll get something out of one of the bundles that I've got, and it's normally a lesser known sort of TTRPG. But this week, I want to talk to you about two things that I have now purchased. One, and it is directly in response to something said in the chat earlier. Delta Green as a humble bundle.
Yeah, I saw that. I wondered if you're going to flip out or not.
Fuck me. It is hands down the best bundle they've done.
Yeah.
If you want to get into Delta Green and you really want to get into it, get this bundle. I mean, I didn't get the full tier because I've already got lots of it.
Right.
But the middle tier just gave me exactly what the fuck I wanted, and it is absolutely glorious. Let me bring it up. Humble bundle. So yeah, I will be running some Delta Green because a lot of it is also digital products for things like Foundry and Roll20.
Okay, yeah.
So I've got a few operations now, which I might load onto my Foundry or even my Roll20 account. And yeah, I'm happy to run it.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay, so there's 11 days left, right? We're going to bring it up on the on the screen. Right, so there is 11 days left, and you get 58 items by paying
Damn.
by paying 20 quid, which I think is going to equate to about $25,
Okay.
give or take. But the items, I mean, Impossible Landscapes, hands down, one of the best things I've ever read. Delta Green Conspiracy, that's just a source book. Not mechanic wise, it is very much adding to the lore. The only books you will need mechanics wise are the Delta Greens, the Agent's Handbook, and the Handler's Guide. Everything else is either additions like lore expansions or operations.
Okay.
So a Knights of the Opera, I've got that. That's 5 operations, which are fantastic. God's Teeth, if you like your body horror and your visceral kind of stuff.
That's me.
Control Group is another sort of mix. And so is Black Sites. You've got a fair few things in there. The Labyrinth is different organizations involved with Delta Green. Some of them are allies, some of them are opposing. Iconoclast, another large scale campaign. Digital assets. You've got the complex static protocol, which goes with the Impossible Landscapes. There is so fucking much. This one I was excited about
huge.
because this one I do not have. Well, I do now. Dead Drops. That's one of the most recent ones that's come out.
Just that cover is really good.
Then we've got the Agent's Handbook for All-20, the Agent's Handbook for Foundry.
Oh,
So
interesting.
if whichever, and because it's Humble Bundle, goes through Drive-Through RPG, you can just integrate it directly into your Roll20 without any fuss.
Huh.
But also we've got the annotated King in Yellow. Still scared to shit of reading that. A King in Yellow tarot deck, but all these are operations. Dead Letter, Good Life, Renditions, Tales from Failed Anatomies. All these are just different operations.
Okay.
And this is one I will probably run for you guys.
Okay.
Puppet shows and shadow plays.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah. Again, because it's available for Roll20 and Foundry. Reverberations, that's a good intro scenario. It is for $25, you get so much bang
That's
for
a
your buck.
lot. That's a fucking lot.
If you've ever considered Delta Green, I highly fucking recommend it.
Yeah. That's good.
So yes, the answer is: will I be running some Delta Green? Fuck yes.
You fucking
because I want to see what the digital assets are like. I want to see,
yeah,
how they play out in Foundry and whatnot. I want to see what it looks like, so it gives me a reason to run it.
Yeah.
And obviously, I know some people are a bit apprehensive about Delta Green. I think Sam in chat did say whether it'd be stressful.
Mm-hmm.
I do think there is an element to that, but knowing the table and having the GM having that information will make things a lot easier. I can soften it as much
and I think
as
that's
possible.
That is one of those things too that I think is super. We've talked about this, like obviously Sam has explained like her stress levels and her levels of like gore she can handle. So we adapt to that. We take care of that. We adjust. But I'm curious to see like Delta Green GM'd by you, because I'm curious if that's something you can tailor like her versus the rest of the party. Like still have her encounter the same stressful situations, but like can you change like the drasticness, I guess, per. Does that make sense? Am I making sense?
I think whereas there's a lot of it, yes, there are things. I think it is doable, because whereas I would focus on one, like if I was interacting with one player and it was something like a sanity loss, the way you deliver that and the way your cadence and the way that kind of comes across, you can alter that. Whereas if you go to Sam, it might be more comfortable for her if we just kept it mechanic. If we just kept it, okay, so you use 3 sanity.
Yeah.
Okay. And you just keep it on a mechanic level. Whereas if I'm dealing with you or Connell or somebody else,
you gotta make me feel it. I want to be traumatized.
I can lean in. I can lean into that. And as long as not having that focus is, as long as witnessing it from someone like Sam isn't going to cause any discomfort.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So it all depends on whether it is only limited
That'd be
to when
interesting.
it's directed at Sam as
Yeah.
opposed to whether it's in general. But
And
even if it is in general,
yeah.
I don't mind making it PG-13. I don't
Yeah.
mind toning it down to
Absolutely.
a point because I think the stress is still going to be there. It's just going to be different. It's not going to be.
Well, and I think that's one of those interesting things about the game in general, like not necessarily Delta Green, but just the hobby in general um I it's amazing how stressful a situation can be for someone and
Hmm,
not the rest of the party. Because when you
yeah,
get to know your table, you get to know like pressure points.
yeah,
For example, one of my characters, one of the most traumatizing, I've had really intense, hard things that my characters go through. And some might say like Delta Green level, like mind breaking or
hmm,
psychologically scary. But the most like damaging, like I was having a hard time out of character as like, it's a game. I need a second because it's a game.
hmm,
Was a simple decision of my character. It's a superhero story. I'll keep it very short. A intergalactical bounty hunter slash court basically was like, hey, you need to give up your dad to us because he
hmm,
committed a intergalactical, like basically
yeah,
genocide. And she's like, he's in a coma right now. Like I
yeah,
accidentally put him in a coma. I'm not giving my dad up. And I had to play through that decision of like, what do I do? And
yeah,
that messed with me. Like I
hmm,
was sobbing in and out of character. I was like,
yeah. But
I don't want to do, but I also signed up for that. And so like it was okay. But everybody else watching me was like, just make the decision. Like, what's so hard about this? And I'm like,
dude, you can't
trauma.
really apply your experience to everybody else, and
No.
so I mean, I've seen it as a GM where people get really stressed out with things. It's like, okay, fine, and it's everybody's experience is different.
Yeah.
Everybody's mentality is different. Everybody's perspective is different, and
Yes.
that's the beauty of this game.
Yeah.
And as a GM, it's your responsibility to find a
Hmm.
common ground where everybody's comfortable, but also know when and where to be able to push boundaries, to be able to
Exactly.
see, okay, I know this person can support or has a higher threshold
Yep.
of pressure, and so you apply a bit more there,
Yeah.
whereas somebody else you're a bit more easygoing. Not necessarily, just it's just catering to people, it's catering
Yeah.
to everybody's
It's
preferences.
it's the responsibility of being a GM is knowing your players. And I know that there's a really big trend right now of like, oh, getting a bunch of random people together to make a show, and that's fine. I think that's great. That is a really cool part of the hobby that people can watch other people play. But I think that there is a lot of I have such mad respect for the GMs who take time to not just like, okay, here's the character you're playing, but to have a sit down with the player and be like getting to know them, getting to understand what I'm not talking about safety checks. I'm not talking about like, okay, what are your limits and what is your grade level, but like actually understanding the psyche of your table and how to play that is so cool because one of my players, like if I put them in a tough situation, they don't care. Like, it's fine, whatever. But if I put them in a tough situation that affects another character,
Hmm.
suddenly it's like they are distraught and they
Yeah.
love that. And they love that. And I'm like, okay, so just being able to, yeah,
Hmm.
that's why I
Right,
like GMs.
so the next thing I spent money on
Mm-hmm.
wasn't cheap.
Did you get the Dragon Ball dice?
No, this tag kind of took precedence.
Oh shit. Now I'm interested. What the hell is it?
Fuck, it's heavy.
It's a box. Holy shit.
Look at the
Oh
fucking
my
size of that.
god, it's huge.
It's fucking amazing. And yes, I haven't heard that very often, so thank you. But yeah, it is fantastic. Essentially, because I want to run Skull and Shackles,
Yeah.
we are going to be um, I won't say using necessarily Savage Pathfinder, but we are going to be borrowing heavily from that. I've
Okay.
also kind of bought the Fantasy Companion as well as Buccaneers Through Hell and High Water, just to kind of give players the option. But this is fucking
It,
beautiful all the way
yeah.
around.
It's huge. It's
It is.
heavy.
It's massive. It is. When the box arrived, I didn't expect this, but
No.
it comes with 2 books. It comes with the bestiary and the core rule book. It comes with action cards. It comes with chase deck. It comes with power cards,
Damn.
archetype cards. It comes with bennies. It comes with
I love
tokens. It
bennies.
comes with condition tokens. I'm trying to open the Um, but yes, I got my nice little cute stack of bennies here, which
We should do that. That should be a portion of the show. Just like, look at this shiny thing that I bought. Oh, I love that. That is so cool.
yeah. So yeah, the bennies
like
themselves are really pretty.
Oh, yep.
So yeah, that's gonna
Yep.
that's gonna give me the ability to practice the chip handling I was learning in the casino.
I keep forgetting about that chapter of your life.
yeah, me too. Oddly enough,
Right.
but yeah, so it comes like there's a chase deck, there's
Ooh.
the status cards.
You gotta Vanna White it, like
Hmm?
you gotta Vanna White it, but yeah. There you go.
Action deck. It is fantastic. I mean, it retails for about. Well, I've seen it for about £140. I got it for 115.
Love a deal. Love a deal.
So yeah, it was definitely fucking worth it.
Yeah.
And obviously, then it comes with. I've got about 7 copies of this, but it's the map of the inner sea for Galarian, and these are the like the condition tokens.
Oh, that's
what
a big
we're using
carrot.
the templates because it's theater of the mind.
That's a big ass carrot. Oh, you can make a giant penis out of that. Did you see that? Put it back up.
This has been a very penis-centric episode.
It really has been. I don't know who. That's your fault, not mine. I mean, I did have caffeine, but I shouldn't have had enough. How much is in this? I don't even know.
So yeah, that has been my purchase, and I'm fucking excited. And like Connell says, he's never seen me so excited. Even when Connell gets sexy, he's not seen me this excited.
So much penis. YouTube's gonna slam us.
Like I'm gonna slam Connell.
Yeah, probably. But
all right, that's about all we've got time for today. So I want to say thank you to everyone who's joined us in the chat. It's great to see you guys. Great to interact. We love having you with us week in, week out. Atlas, thanks ever so much for keeping me company this evening. Do you want to tell people whereabouts they can find you on the interwebs? I
gotta not look at the chat right now.
I'm trying to not look at the chat. I've got a game to go in. I can't go in half.
I know, right? Erect. I gotta take Bella for a walk. What were we saying? Oh yeah, I'm on Threads.
She's getting flustered, people.
I am. I'm on Threads and Blue Sky and Instagram and TikTok.
Both Connell and I are dads, and she likes that.
Don't be airing my secrets.
Sorry.
Actually, it's not a secret. Who are we kidding? My first Discord hangout was like all dads, and I'm like, whoo, okay. What was I saying? Oh yeah. No, find me on all the socials at Atlas Ursa, Atlas like the Titan, Ursa like the bear.
As for me, you can find me behind most of our social media. If not, you can find me at natural.juan on pretty much everywhere except for Twitter because fuck that place.
Fuck that. No, I'm not there yet. I don't even count that as a thing. That's why.
But if you like what we do and you want to keep us doing it, then come hang out with us on the Discord. You can join our Ko-fi, and for $3 a month, you get access to our Traveler's Chalice, which is our little private area where we do it gets steamy in there from time to time. Also, you can check out our merch. We've got loads of cool stuff. I will be adding leggings with D20s on the arse.
Good. I will buy those.
But
not
also,
even joking.
If you like what we do, just subscribe and tell your friends about us, and word of mouth, and get us as far out as possible. We want to expand our reach and see other sides of this community. But most of all, I want to thank everyone for taking time out of their busy day to listen to two idiots waffle on about penises and role-playing games. Thank you very much. Good night.
Oh man. Oh god.
I do have to end the stream now because I've got a game to get to.
You gotta run. You got a game. I have to go for a walk and then I have my game. Bye, chat. Oh god. All right. Same time next week.